still two parlays with 16 odds. Let's break them down. First parlay first Bayern vs Cologne, and honestly I think a lot of people are underestimating Bayern's motivation here. Yeah, the title is already secured and there are no tournament objectives left, but this Bayern side now has a very real goal: making history with their scoring numbers. They are only few goals away from an all-time top 5 league scoring record, and at home against Cologne, Company's team are more than capable of delivering another attacking demolition job. Especially after getting knocked out of the Champions League, there is absolutely no reason to save energy anymore. The starters got rest after PSG, so now we should see a full-strength lineup from the first minute. And at the Allianz Arena, Bayern have been destroying opponents all season long, almost 4 goals per home match on average. Plus in 12 of 16 Bundesliga home games, they were already leading by halftime. This is one of the strongest, fast-starting teams in Europe right now. Buddy, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post match analysis every single day and always try to keep my subscribers in profit. And I'm always happy to see fair criticism and your own betting opinions in the comments because I genuinely read all of them. Guys, here's my Telegram and my stats. I work as transparently and honestly as possible. I even pay taxes as an individual entrepreneur. I am one of the few in this space who actually works openly and fairly. The link is in the description below. At the same time, I wouldn't call Cologne a completely toothless underdog. Wagner's side absolutely deserve to stay up, and they do create chances even against top teams. In 9 of 11 matches against top 6 clubs, Cologne managed to score. But the problem is that defensively, they simply can't handle this kind of speed and pressure. They lost 1-4 at home in the first meeting, and away from home, where Cologne are even weaker, it will be even harder to stop Bayern's attack, especially when the hosts are motivated not just to win, but to put on a show for their fans in the final home game of the season. And most importantly, Bayern themselves concede regularly now. They kept only 1 clean sheet in their last 11 home league matches. So the scenario of an open entertaining game looks extremely logical here. But Bayern's tempo and pressure from the first minute should still make the difference. My safe opinion is Bayern over 1 goal in the first half. I also like Bayern win plus under 6.5 goals. And for the crazy parlay, I am taking over 2 goals in the first half at 2.0 odds. First parlay, second event: Bayern Leverkusen vs Hamburg. And for me, this story is mostly about motivation and the host reaction after last round's collapse. Bayern put themselves in a difficult situation because after every huge victories, they suddenly kept dropping points in games nobody accepted. It happened after 6-3 against Wolfsburg and after that brilliant performance versus Leipzig as well. The loss to Stuttgart seriously damaged the atmosphere inside the club, and now there is even talk about Ullmann potentially losing his job. So in the final home match of the season, the Fermatics will be definitely come out fully fired up, especially because the chances for top 4 still technically exist. They need to win and hope competitors slip up. And at the home against teams like this, Bayern usually look extremely strong. In matches where they were priced below 1.5 odds to win, they took 3 of 4 games with a combined goal difference of 17-5. Plus in 12 of 16 home matches, they scored first, and 10 of their 11 home wins came by at least 2 goals. Hamburg, meanwhile, have basically already completed their mission. They safely stayed in the league and are simply playing out of season now. Yeah, they had good wins against Frankfurt and Freiburg, but away from home they've been terrible all season. Only 13 points from 16 away games, and one of the worst goal difference in the league, especially against top teams, where the defense usually starts collapsing immediately. At the same time, the visitors can still create moments. In 8 of 10 matches against top 6 clubs, they scored, so I'm not expecting a completely dead game here either. But the gap in class and motivation is too big. Bayern should dominate from the first minute, especially because at home they start games very aggressively and often suffocate opponents with early pressure. So my safe option is Bayern win plus under 5.5 goals. And for the crazy parlay, I really like Bayern first half corners handicap -2 at 1.95. Second parlay first event: Freiburg vs Leipzig, and here I honestly think bookmakers are slightly overrating the visitors' motivation. Yeah, Leipzig had a very strong season overall and fully deserved their top 3 finish. But now the Bulls simply had no real objectives left. Champions League qualification is already secured, they already said goodbye to the fans, and it's hard to believe they will die for a result in the final away game of the season, especially against a highly motivated Freiburg side that could still either qualify for Europe or end up with nothing. For the hosts, this is basically another final before the Europa League final. And as strange as it sounds, Freiburg still need to secure themselves through the league as well, especially because the team finally got 5 rare days of rest after living through a brutal schedule of 2 or 3 matches per week. That's explaining the Bundesliga dip and the cup elimination. But at home, Freiburg remain extremely dangerous. They scored in 23 of 24 home matches across all competitions, a seriously impressive level of consistency. And at home, Schuster's side play brave and aggressive football, especially against teams willing to open up. And Leipzig are exactly that kind of opponent. The Bulls matches are almost always entertaining, and even when they drop points, they still create chances consistently. In 9 of their last 12 games, they scored at least twice. But there is an important detail. Away against top 7 clubs, Leipzig had been off. No wins, 4 defeats and 1 draw. So in serious away matches, they regularly lose points. Freiburg at home will now play emotionally and with crystal clear motivation. At the same time, I'm not expecting a defensive game here at all. The hosts have only 1 clean sheet in recent home matches, while Leipzig's attack is too strong to stay quiet. So BTTS looks highly likely. For the parlay, I'm taking Freiburg team total over 1. And for the crazy parlay, I'm going with 1x plus BTTS yes at 2.1. Second parlay first up. Werder Bremen versus Borussia Dortmund. And honestly, I think this game could end up much more entertaining than people expect. Yeah, neither team really has major tournament motivation anymore. Dortmund are safely second, Werder are comfortable staying in the Bundesliga. But exactly these kind of matches often open up because there is no pressure and teams start playing free football with more chances created. At the same time, the quality gap between these sides are still noticeable. Werder were very poor against top teams this season. Only 2 points taken against clubs from the top 5, even when they desperately needed points, they couldn't consistently compete against teams of this level. Dortmund under Kovac, despite criticism for pragmatic football, still get results very consistent. Since November, the black and yellow have only dropped points once against a bottom half side. And even when Dortmund don't play spectacular football, they still know how to grind out wins through class and finishing quality. One key factor is that Werder are far from perfect squad-wise right now. There are injuries and emotionally the team can get very unstable. Red cards in Bremen matches have almost become normal. There were send-offs in 5 of their last 9 games. And against such a fast and technical Dortmund attack, one emotional mistake can completely destroy the game plan. But I'm not expecting a clean sheet kind of match either. Werder at home still try to play brave football, averaging 1.4 goals recently, while Dortmund's away issues mostly come in second half. 13 of their 18 away goals conceded happened after halftime. So BTTS is definitely possible. But Dortmund rarely destroy opponents away from home. They haven't scored more than 3 in a row game once this season. That's where the total logic comes from. For the parlay, I'm taking under 4.5 goals. And for the crazy parlay, I'm going with Dortmund to win at 2 odds.